Hello there, art students and YouTube. Today I'm in my kitchen because I got a table full of stuff here. And what we're going to do is we are going to do a drawing. This kind of continues with what we've been doing. So if the last drawing that we all did together, we were creating a composition using the elements of art, space, basic shapes and forms, moving on to value, texture, and then going on, using line and such. So we did a dragon on a car. It was a hot mess. Don't judge me. It was by the time it was all said and done, I drew it for like 8 minutes. So but what we're going to do today is we are going to continue with the idea of composing and creating. And so many times a young inexperienced artist will take a piece of paper. Let me grab my pencil here. We'll take their piece of paper and they'll just soak their little drawing right in the middle of the page. So it'll be, just there it is, with no consideration for what's going on around that drawing. So what we want to do is we want to start to think about the composition as it exists in the space. So this space that I've got right here set aside is a normal 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It's wider than it is tall. So, it's 11.5 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall. So you're going to need your notebook. Go ahead and get that out. If you're not one of my students, then go ahead and just click like down there below. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just go ahead and click it. So you're going to need some supplies for this. So you probably need to pause this and get your stuff. For this, you're going to need some regular old household products that you have around the house. So, I'm at my kitchen table here. So I've got some delicious Cholula green pepper hot sauce. That's nice. I got a package of Kit Kats here, lovely. So just some stuff. Now, anything will work, and what we're doing is we're looking at packaging and something that has some bold shapes and colors. Like these are some delicious peanut butter cookies, but the packaging I would not describe as the greatest. It's fine. These are some delightful crackers. But again, this is just the store brand, so the packaging there is not going to be the most beautiful packaging you ever saw. So get you some, anything that has some nice, cool shapes and stuff on there. Anything will work, it's fine. And also you're going to need a window. So your window can be anything that you want it to be. If you want to get like a paper towel tube or a toilet paper tube and look through that, that'd be wonderful. I just went down to my shop downstairs and I found I have an old chunk of PVC pipe that I could look through. These are round. Round is fine if you want to use fine. I grabbed some painter's tape that you can look through. Again, round is fine. I have a little clamp here that you can look through. So what you're doing is you're making a frame. You just want a frame. And if you want to just cut a little hole, a square window in a piece of paper, feel free. That's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the square. So I'm speaking to you and I have this square box around me that I'm sort of centered in, right? And I'm paying attention to back here, like my ceiling fan is swirling around. So, when I set up my window, I kind of think about what is in this space around me when I'm doing my recording. Today, I just happen to be over here at the kitchen table because I got all this stuff laying around. So ordinarily, I'll sit over there where it's a little less. So the same thing is true as of this piece of paper that you have over here to your right. It has a box, and in that box, that's going to be the space that you have to work in. So what we're doing is we're thinking about the space that you're working in. So you may, now this is not my preference, but if you can't find anything else, if you cannot find a little window, if you don't have a spent toilet tissue roll laying around, if you don't have anything else, you can do this. This is not my preference. You can use your phone and set a square window there. If you want to do that, that's okay. It is not my preference. What we're going to do is we are going to, and so feel free to pause this and go find some crap around the house. Can I say crap? Let's go find a little something to look through, a little window, and just a couple of, little household products that have some interesting design on them. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something like this. So you're going to be selecting and cropping bits of these packages. This one just happens to be soda cans. Feel free to use a soda can. That's what I'm going to use as an example, but you can use anything. The Kit Kats, all this stuff. That's just, it has a bunch of packaging on it that you can select from. So what you're going to do is you're going to be drawing selected bits of that composition. And what I want you to do, the goal for this is to make decisions about what you want to appear in your space. What shapes and forms and colors and textures you want to appear in the little space. You may have seen like people do this, like if they're, directors, movie directors or something, and they'll look at the world through this window. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're creating a window with which you can describe your ideas and thoughts and vision to the world. That's kind of what artists do. So I'm going to just use this this Dr. Pepper can, since my examples here are of soda pop cans. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it in front of me so I can see it. And I'm going to look at it through this viewer. And I can move that around and I can select, can zoom in, zoom out. I can select what part of that can I'm going to use. So if this is my can, I can select in, I can zoom in on different parts of that can. I can select text, I can select shape, I can select colors. I can choose whatever I want in that window. So let's say that I just choose, this little portion right there. So that, the little selection that I make is going to be the drawing, right? So you're going to choose that image, that view, that space, and that's where you're going to draw your shapes and colors and lines and textures. So, we'll just, let's do this. And I will, let's see if this works. Yeah, lovely. So I'm just going to do this real quick like. I'm going to turn off this one so I can see here. So you're going to select this window. And again, if you want to use your phone, that's okay. Not my favorite. I prefer you look at cancel. I just want to use this one. I prefer that you look at through a real window to do this, but I'm just going to do it really quick like, and you'll kind of see. So I'm going to now this is what you'll do. You'll have your little window and you will select what you're going to show. And so now I'm going to start drawing in how these objects interact with that space, right? So now again, I'm just sketching this in real quick like. And then I got like a little something going on here, and I got a swoop that comes through here, swoop, and I got like a whoop. So what I'm doing is I am using this little window to isolate interesting objects. You don't have to look at, again, I'm going to give you an assignment. If you want to do it different ways, you feel free. You can play around with this assignment however you want. So I'm giving you the example of using products from around your house, and that's wonderful. If you decide that you would rather, use this little window and look at your dog or flowers or, you feel free, you can do that. And you're going to do these little drawings. So what I'm going to do is I'll give you a number and requirements here, and, there you go. So, but you get what I'm doing. So you're going to look through this little window that you make for yourself, whether it's a circle little tube or a window that you cut out, a square out of paper. If you want to grab an old picture frame, it's not too big, a small little picture frame, and look through it. Anything that you want to look through that's a little square or circle that you can isolate and you can crop and you can create an image that interacts with the space around it, that will be fine. So you're going to do that. If you want to get going, if you want to do color, you can certainly do that as well. Now that I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and. So if I decide that I want to do some color on this, you can just feel free to do what it. So for the assignment, how about this? How about if I make the assignment, let's do, is 10 too many? And you see what I'm doing here. My sketches, they're not like finished drawings. These are just like little quick sketches. So far I've spent, 3 minutes on this thing. So maybe it'll take you a little bit longer since you're not a professional like me. So let's do between 5 and 10. You just decide. Between 5 and 10, you're going to look through the little window. You're going to create these little compositions. You don't have to use color like I am. I just decided to start playing around. If you don't have colored stuff with you, if you just want to do pencil, that's wonderful. You can certainly do value though. So if you want to do, dark and light, that'd be great. Feel free. So you can do value if you, let me rephrase. Do value, not just line. If you want to do color though, you certainly can. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So I want you to do value, lights and darks. If you also want to add in color, feel free. So there you go. So between 5 and 10 of these little sketches where you're looking through a window and you are selecting interesting little compositions. If you want to choose little products like the example that I gave you, that's wonderful. If you want to, if you've got an interesting little pattern on a rug, or if you want to do, whatever is laying around your house, a jar of pencils, a bottle of vitamins, I don't know. I'm just looking around and seeing stuff. So you can do whatever you want. Between 5 and 10 of these little sketches, let's say that you're going to spend, I don't know, would you say 10 minutes on each one? Or let's say 5 minutes. So 5 minutes on each one. So you're talking about 30 minutes or so of drawing for this assignment. By the time you do 5 drawings, 5 minutes apiece. And if you're like an artsy kid and you love to draw anyway, then do 10 drawings of 10 minutes apiece and do 100 minutes. I don't know. So you see what we're doing here. So yeah, that should be good. It should be a good assignment. That's a fine day of drawing right there. I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, like always, be sure to take care of your health, take care of the health of those around you. Make sure that you are making good choices about, especially if you have older relatives around, so that you're keeping them healthy. But that is all I've got, and look forward to seeing you all in person soon.